If you're a grandparent, a neighbor, please tell parents not to sleep in the same bed as a young infant. You're too big. You will smother the infant. Please do not cause another death in this city of a young infant. I know you love your baby. If you love your baby, please put your baby in a safe place for your baby to sleep. There is plenty of time for bonding. There's plenty of time for caring. I want you to love your baby. I want you to hold your baby. I want you to care for your baby. But I don't want your baby to die. And this is the message that we are trying to get across. I am calling on our community to help us get this message across. These are preventable deaths. We can stop this. But we read over and over again about another mother, and I don't question these mothers that they love their babies, or fathers who love their babies, or grandparents who love their babies. But there are other ways to show it. And if you want your infant, and they're young infants, if you want your infant to live, please make sure they are sleeping in a crib by themselves. The City of Milwaukee Health Department will work with you. There are health providers in this community that will work with you, but we have to get this message across. This is everyone's issue in this community. It's not the health department's issue. It's not the mayor's issue. It's an issue that permeates this entire city. And I need people in this city to send that message as well. If you love your baby, allow your baby to sleep in his or her own crib. If you need a crib, we'll work with you. The Milwaukee Health Department has a number of programs and direct service programs, such as intensive home visits and cribs for kids, to address this issue. And I'm going to call on Commissioner Bevan Baker to share these with you.
Thank you, Mayor. As Mayor Barrett said, these are tragedies that are completely preventable. We've had at least 8 infant deaths associated with unsafe sleep environments so far this year. And each and every one of these deaths were preventable. And certainly our hearts go out to those families. Losing a baby is the worst thing that can happen to anyone. The health department takes infant mortality very seriously. It's our number one priority. And our goal is to work with the entire community to reduce the number of infant deaths. As the mayor said, our intensive home visitation and our Cribs for Kids programs are a couple of things to address that issue. Just recently, we hosted a citywide summit. We had more than 200 healthcare professionals from around the region work with us on ways to promote safe sleep, and some of those participants are here today. Over the last year, we focused on the role that unsafe sleep positions can play in infant mortality. And we launched a multi-tiered strategy that included advertising and ad campaigns. And one of our ad campaigns was very provocative and successful, and it was our tombstone ad. Today, we are here to launch additional ads. And I'm going to have those ads queued up, and then I'll comment, and then we'll take a few questions. You'll see a television spot, and you'll see a radio spot.
The average adult weighs roughly 20 times as much as a newborn baby. That's about the difference between your weight and the weight of an SUV. So if you think it's all right to sleep in the same bed with your baby, try this. Go outside and lie on the ground. Then have 5 or 6 of your friends roll an SUV on top of you. If you're somehow able to survive being pinned down and crushed by an immovable object, you'd probably agree, while lying in a hospital bed on life support, that it's probably not a good idea to sleep with a baby. And if you were smart enough to not even try this little experiment, then maybe you could already imagine how a baby feels as it's being crushed or suffocated by a sleeping adult. So, if you love that little baby, you should know that there's no safer place than a crib. It's the best way to prevent a rollover accident, not to mention a funeral. This message brought to you by the City of Milwaukee Health Department.
Those are meant to be powerful and direct. I want to thank our media partner, Sir Martin, for working with the health department as we keep this multi-tiered strategy moving forward. I'm also joined today by Alderman Michael Murphy, who's been a big supporter and actually is his automatic district that we hosted our Safe Sleep Summit. I'm going to invite Alderman Murphy to the podium for a few remarks, and then I'll comment on our advertising campaign.
Let me begin by saying thank you to the mayor and Bevan for their leadership on this issue. Every life in our city is important. And of course, any loss of life for children is so tragic. So, as really a recent new father, I do know the temptation that you want to take your child to bed with you. On occasions when you're exhausted, you're tired, you want to bring the baby to you, and you think that perhaps the baby will go to sleep and you'll pick up the baby and put it back into the crib. It is extremely dangerous. We have so many cases now where we're losing our most precious resource, our children in our community, all through prevention. We need to go out and outreach, and we are so grateful for the strong turnout by the media today to demonstrate as a community it's unacceptable. We need to communicate continuously on this issue because there's just too many children being lost in this city from very, very preventable efforts. So I look forward to working with the media, with all our community partners, with the Wheaton Franciscan, St. Joseph Hospital, which has taken a leadership position in my district on this issue, to outreach to our citizens and our communities, to reach these young mothers, and many of them are young mothers, about the perils of this terrible tragedy that is preventable. And we are grateful for the media support in trying to get that message across. It needs to be reinforced on a repetitive basis. Because unfortunately, at this point so far, it is not sinking in. We have too many young children dying in the city, and we have to do more. And I appreciate the leadership of the mayor and, of course, our commissioners.
Thank you, Alderman Murphy. So collectively, you can see a multi-tiered strategy. You can see our Tombstone ad behind us. You see these two spots, both television and radio. They're meant to educate the entire community, not just young mothers and fathers, but anyone who may see or hear these ad campaigns that might impact, as Mayor Barrett said, speak with those individuals and share words of caution about unsafe sleep positions. So at this time, we'd like to entertain any questions that our media person may have. So we'll open that up.
Are you finding that this is a young parent issue? Is there an age range?
Well, I think one of the things we wanted to make clear that this can happen to anyone. And I think the age of a parent certainly is not a rate limiting factor. Anyone who puts a baby in an unsafe sleep position can experience a tragedy. We know we have a lot of young parents out there, or first-time parents out there. But the data has shown us that this has happened to people where this is the first, second, or even third child. This has happened multi-generational. Some grandparents have been caretakers when this happens. So again, as Mayor Barrett said, don't sleep with the baby in an adult bed. The safest places in the cribs.
Are there any other sort of common characteristics of these deaths? Level of the home or anything like that?
I think that on many occasions, one of the common characteristics is that there wasn't a workable crib or a bassinet in the home. And that again is why we're urging parents to call us or other healthcare providers. We'll try to make a crib available. We know that there are challenges in our community for parents. There are challenges as it relates to social determinants, poverty, those other types of things. Parents don't want to hurt their babies, but unfortunately, putting them in these unsafe sleep positions does just that.